in our electoral process.
If you permit me, just a minute. I mean, I'm looking at the statement released by INEC today. Now, yes, we know that they're going to have a meeting on Wednesday, and we expect them to come up with more statements about the card reading test which was done. But look at this. Remember, it was done in 12 states. It wasn't in every part of the country. And now they say 59% of those who turned out for this demonstration had their fingerprints successfully authenticated. Would you consider 59% of those who came out in 12 states appreciable performance?
Well, there are the different components to the smart card reader. Is not just about capturing of fingerprints. There's also the part about authenticating the PVCs itself. That went on very smoothly. So if 59% of the people who ran through the text, they couldn't capture their fingerprints, it's something that we can work upon. It's something that INEC could look into. But there are just many other reasons why people's fingerprints could not be captured. If you have had any occasion of having to renew your driving license or pick up a new one, you'll find out that there are people who get in there in 20 seconds, they are out, and there are people who get in there in 1 hour, they are not out, because all manner of things are being done to ensure if you have greasy palms, if your palms are oily. So what we need to do is to step up education first and foremost, that voters will have to wash up their properly before they go for the voting and all of that. But that's not to say that INEC, in the report that Yaga released, we have suggested there that it's important that INEC revisits the issue of investigates properly what really will have caused that number, especially in Eboyi, where you had 100% rejection of fingerprints. That is the cause for concern. But my sense is that whatever challenges that the card reader poses is not enough to go back to the bigger challenges that we have faced with our use of temporary voters card for 16 years.
Are you saying, Mr. Mago, are you of the impression then, if you say the challenges, and I mean, we can't go back to what was obtainable before, if we had gone for elections, and then it turns out that it's only about 59% that had their fingerprints captured. Yes, we know about the incident forms. Wouldn't this cause a lot of arguments and controversy on election day?
No, the process is not a closed process. If your fingerprints are not captured, there is something that can be done. But what is that thing that can be done? The incident, because what is important is that you are not denied the opportunity to exercise your franchise. And once that is not done through the use of the incidence form, you can vote. What is important is that the machine is able to capture the PVC, authenticate it, which means that people cannot use other people's PVC.
Okay.
People can't pick PVC on the road. That's
all right, I get the point. Just give me a minute. I need to come back to some of the guests in the studio as well. Well, Kachi Ononuju has since joined us. He's a member of the PDP. Thank you for coming in this evening, Mr. Kachi.
Thank you for having me.
What about the question of the PVC? Yes, your party held a conference not long ago today about the PVCs, but many are also of the view that, oh yes, they know, they appreciate the perspective of the PDP, but they also think that the PDP should give this a chance and let it work.
The PDP is not talking about giving chance to anything. The PDP wants the maximum inclusion scenario. That's what it says. If you're talking about 59%, I call that, in an inclusive process, a failure. 40% of prospective voters not having a chance to exercise their right is unacceptable. We want something that will include as many Nigerians as possible in the process. That's what we're asking for. You do not use a presidential election as a litmus test. You don't do that. The right thing is introduce it as a test process from a low level, say a by-election, a local government election, not even a serious local government election, but a by-election, a one-off. If it's right, you take it. If there are mistakes, you employ corruptions. You do not try to start playing guinea pig in a most serious scenario as important as a presidential election in a hotly contested season like this. For us, That's unacceptable. If what you've just said, Chamberlain, is true, you're saying 59%. For me, for 40% of prospective voters to be excluded from the process, that in itself is a failure.
Well,
So we are not talking that we are against the card reader. No, we want experiments that have the prospect of maximum inclusions. That's what it is. We don't want test cases.
I'm stating a press statement, which is INEC's comment about the exercise which was conducted on Monday, the 9th of March, 2015. Now, no, I beg your pardon.
The 9th of what?
No, this
March
is
2015. This is for an election that should have held on the 14th of February. INEC is only doing a text run on the 9th of March.
Actually, they met on the 9th of March and came up with some recommendations, and then Kayode Dowo actually sends this press statement. But yes, it reads that overall, 59% of those who turned out had their fingerprints successfully authenticated.
And what happened to 41%?
That's the first part of the process. INEC has also said that if you get there and the card reading machine is not able to read your card, or you're not able to use your card for accreditation purposes, you can or you will be given the incidence form. So, given the incidence form, you will be able to vote.
Incidence form. Now, Chamberlain, tell me, 40% of staff of Channel not allowed access into the premises on a given work day. What would you think about that? People you know have rights to be here.
Is that the same thing here? Because
it
if
is
you
the
come
same
with a
thing.
card, no, it's not saying they were not able to read your card.
Yes.
If you have your card, you come into the process where you're supposed to get, the venue where you're supposed to get accredited, and if your fingerprint is not able, if that machine
Yes.
cannot authenticate
Yes.
that, you will not be sent back home.
Can we just...
You will be accredited
Let me help you.
with the incidence form, and then you can vote.
And listen, my man, in the world today, technology-wise, the very best company to have implemented a fingerprint implementation is Apple. You know what they did? Apple bought off Authentic, the only company on earth known to deploy the fingerprint biometric technology well. As rich as Samsung is, it does not have a fingerprint reader on its phone that works. Now, this is the kind of problem. Where did Nigeria get the technology that is as good as that implemented by Authentic? Authentic was the only good company in biometric registration when Apple bought it off. And what happened after Apple bought Authentic, no other company could implement a fingerprint sensor on its smartphones. As I speak to you, as rich as Samsung is and other Android manufacturers, nobody today on earth has a positive fingerprint implementation technique on its phone, apart from the Apple's iPhone. Now, where will INEC of Nigeria get a better fingerprint implementation process than Samsung has done? It doesn't exist.
We'll come to that. Maybe I will get the comments of Mr. Onofo in just a moment. But we need to get the first of a series of reports tonight from our correspondents across the country. Tokwe, who shuttled between Imo and Ebonyi. But this time, we spoke to him earlier, and his report is filed in from Ebonyi State.
Last weekend's test run of the card reader machine down here in Ebonyi State. While some residents are applauding INEC for the success of the card reader test, some are also saying the major challenges faced during the test is the issue of the fingerprints. They said in some polling units where we have over 50 electorates, it takes just 3 or 4 people to go through the screening. While we spoke to the resident commissioner of INEC down here in Ebonyi State, he said most of these challenges will soon become a thing of the past. That is why INEC fixed the mock test for the card reader. He also disclosed that out of the 1.1 million registered voters we have down in Ebonyi State, 85% PVCs have been distributed, which is amounting to over 900,000 PVCs already distributed in Ebonyi State. He, however, assured the people of the state that before the general elections, 100% PVC distribution will be achieved.
Well, thank you, Tokwe. Well, just to remind our viewers, remember the statement released by INEC, signed by Kaide Doe, the Chief Press Secretary to INEC Chairman, says there will be a repeat demonstration on Saturday, 14th March 2015 in Izi Unuhu, Abakaliki local government area, as well as in Ibi Oziza registration area, that's in Afikpo North local government.